Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Delora, we are back with another week and another recap. How you feeling? How you living?
I'm doing,
As you sit over there and sip your wine. Yes.
Listen.
Y'all pull out the wine too, okay? Because we about to have a little bit of a time today.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's an action based one. We're lightening it up a little bit. We did It Ends With Us. That was a lot. Rebel Ridge was action, but it was traumatic for us.
Especially on the social issues it tapped on.
Yeah. So
Even
this
though
one,
Aaron Pierre couldn't save it, from the heavy.
He tried, but this one, we don't have to invest so much emotionally, right? This one is keeping it light, keeping it up here in the sky a little bit more. So guys, that is Back in Action, released this month on Netflix, starring Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz. As I teased at the end of last week's episode, this is Cameron Diaz's comeback. She has not been in a film in 10 years, and this was the vehicle in which she chose to come back to. And this was the film also Jamie Foxx had his health incident on. So definitely glad he was able to finish out this project. Quick summary. Former CIA spies Emily and Matt are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed. Jamie Foxx as Matt, Cameron Diaz as Emily, McKenna Roberts as Alice, Rylan Jackson as Leo, Kyle Chandler as Chuck. What up, Coach? For all of my Friday Night Light fans. Glenn Close.
I love him from Early Edition.
Okay, he'll always be the coach to me.
I didn't watch Friday Night Lights, so
girl, classic for me. Glenn Close as Jenny, Jamie Demetrio as Nigel, Andrew Scott, a little bit of a departure for him as Baron, and Fola Evans Akimbola as Wendy. Reviews.
That's Hot Priest, though, right?
Yes,
Andrew
that's
Scott.
Hot Priest from Fleabag. Yes, ma'am. Reviews are a little brutal. Rotten Tomatoes, critic score is 26%. Audience score, 62%. Google, 58%. Delora, what is your grade for Back in Action?
I really don't want to grade this. Because was it the funniest action movie ever? No, it was not. I felt like I understood the direction they were going in. I just don't think they reached it, with the humor, even with some of the action. What I enjoyed about it was pretty much the essence of the characters, because we'll get into it a little bit more, but the kids were cute, mainly the little boy. The little girl got on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And then the surprise character, you've already said their name, but in the movie we were like halfway in, and that surprise was everything. So
yes,
it's getting a B- for me today.
Okay, that's nice, because I gave it a solid C. I said,
I was gonna give it a C. I kind of wanted to gauge.
It's a C. It's a C film. It's for sure a C. And that's still, for us, we're being kinder than everybody else,
Yeah, we are.
We're being kinder than everybody else, because to your point, I wanted to watch this film again, given that, hey, Cameron's back. Hey, Jamie made it through his significant health challenges. I love an action film for the most part. Was curious as to their dynamic together, starring in this film. And, Netflix honestly can be good for like a sleeper, good thriller or action film.
Correct.
So I was hoping for the best and prepared for mediocre, and it gave me more of the latter.
Correct.
And that's fine.
Yep.
But it still was worth, in my opinion, a watch just to see what they created with this. So
yeah, I was very curious on like legendary actors, what their chemistry was like, you
exactly.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jamie finally got his white woman. You know, in the
I was
pictures.
like, I was thinking the same thing. I was
yes.
like, this is closer to real life than any of his other roles.
He wasn't even acting that hard. These are the facts. These are the facts. And I had just watched Due Date. I don't know how long it had been since I watched Due Date, y'all. If you don't remember, Zach Galifianakis, Robert Downey Jr., Jamie Foxx. That movie was so freaking funny, and I forgot how funny that movie was. So Jamie Foxx was funnier in that for me. I don't
remember this. Was this from your Sim song?
No, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. Yes. Okay. So Netflix got me because it was like, you know, when you first pop up Netflix and it's like, here's, you know, a highlighted movie, and Due Date was highlighted. I was like, it's been forever since I watched this. Let me just turn this on. I forgot how freaking funny it is. So, you know, maybe that's why too. That movie is funny. So maybe this didn't stand a chance, but I digress. Spoiler alert. Let's get into it.
Well, we enjoyed the vampire movie he did a couple of years ago with the Franco brother.
Yeah.
What was
we recapped
what was called a Daylight or something like that?
I can't remember the name.
So there was we had an inkling of hope. Okay. So
yeah. I just mean my palate had already had such comedy that I think this even more so didn't stand a chance because I had just watched something I thought was really, really funny, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, it was like a double feature, and this just did not, you can't, like, it just didn't live it up to that. He had
multiple gems, though. It was called Day Shift.
Yeah.
And then they cloned Tyrone, which he did amazing job in.
Yeah.
So,
We did that recap as well, guys. So, no, this isn't a shit on Jamie Foxx moment. I just brought that up for sure.
But I'm bringing it up in terms of like with him leading the projects. He's done films that were quote unquote sleepers, but were like just really, really good.
Yes. In recent memory. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. So, as I already kind of mentioned in the summary, Matt and Emily are working for the CIA. Okay. But they are also lovers. And while they're on a mission in the UK to recover a key that can control critical infrastructure around the world, which you know that is real, you know that exists, Emily finds out she's pregnant. When the staff on their plane home tries to kill them to recover this key, they end up deciding to disappear in order to raise their child away from danger. You know what I was thinking during this fight scene on the plane? I was thinking when... not even, but that's a good reference. When they find out there's only one parachute, he's like, go ahead, take care of the baby. You got to survive. And she wraps her legs around him and is like, it's me and you. Yeah. I said, see, what was Rose thinking on Titanic? Like, did we even try to save Jack? I don't know why that's the first.
This is where the class came in, right? Oh, you're fine. She could have like, let's scoot on over. We do halvesies.
Or you on top, me on bottom. Then they would have had body heat.
Yes.
I don't know if any of y'all thought about this, but I said Rose didn't even try.
But it was also Jack's fault because he was so busy trying to be a martyr. He could have been like, can you scoot on over?
Poor Jack, man. Poor Jack. Only thing that made it at least a little bit tolerable is that he had lived so much more life than her at that point. He did.
Agreed. It wasn't like he was some sheltered.
Yeah. He lived.
Yeah.
He lived.
He taught her how to live.
Yes. Anyway. Speaking of the cold, I love movie magic because they just out there. It's snowing. They in the middle of the cold wilderness and they just, well, I guess we'll disappear and we'll make a life for ourselves. How y'all getting out these mountains?
First of all, when the plane crashed and then there was an avalanche. I was like, oh, we're doing this.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is the you know, I'm like, well, okay, I'm taking none of this seriously.
Uh-huh.
Like,
It's on some Fast and Furious. All the plane pieces are falling off, and
and
we
they
just
still
looking.
manage to be okay.
Yeah.
So they essentially are in a tube because all the wings are falling, broken off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, God bless. They made it. Cut to 15 years and 2 kids later. Matt and Emily are living their best suburban life, minivan included. Their daughter Alice is teen angsty, dating boys with mustaches, and catching attitudes.
He looks like an infant who wish he had a mustache because that whisper of hair on his upper lip. It was going to the club for me.
Girl. First of all, let me go back to that car scene real quick. Her little rude ass would have gotten those headphones snatched off so quick.
Oh, so quick. Again, I don't know who's raising these kids, but I think they allude to like, oh, we're so scared of her, what have you, what have you. I don't think my mom was ever scared of me ever. And I don't plan on being scared of my child. Like, I don't understand this.
Never. Never. What are you going to do to me?
Yeah.
I control everything. This is my house. That phone is my phone. Those headphones are my headphones. If you want to be specific, I can snatch the clothes off your back and I'd be justified.
I will take the door off the hinge.
Yes. Everything you own, steal at this point in your life belongs to me. She's 14. 14 years old.
That's crazy.
That's how you know we've passed an era. Because I used to relate to the children, right? I used to be like, mom
just
tripping,
don't understand.
girl. Now it's like I wish my kids would. Because when I tell you, I would snatch those headphones off her head so fast. Dad, Jamie Foxx in the front seat talking about, I wouldn't do it if I was you. What? Do what? Speak to my child and expect her to speak back to me respectfully?
I will say, I do understand to an extent where it's like, if one parent is doing something, you don't want to step on the other parent's, feet, right? Because you want them to have their own situation, like own relationship, own respect. But yeah, it was giving, I'm like, I don't understand his parenting style at all either.
Too laid back for the most part for me, but in that sense, very dad-like to me too. Like,
true. That's
very, very. He steps in when he has to. You'll see that throughout the film. He steps in when he has to. He's like, girl, your tone, you're loud. Other than that, he lets her kind of run the show. And to your point, Leo, the son, adorable. No notes.
No notes.
His curls,
adorable. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh.
I was like, are you up for adoption? Because yes.
Exactly.
You are so cute.
Yep.
You're talking about Alice going to the club, girl. And we in Atlanta. She lied about study time at a friend's house just to go out using her little fake ID underage. Emily finds out because she breaks into her laptop. Do you agree with spying on your children?
Ooh, this is a great question because you want them to feel like they trust you, right? I'm not upset at it though. Like, I don't know what I'll do when I get to that point, whether or not I'll do like check-ins and be like random check-ins, be like, hey, let me see what's going on here. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's something I still got to figure out. I got a little bit of time.
I'm all for spying on your kids if they give you cause to. Like, put that spyware on the phones, put that spyware on the tablets. And it's not even just a lack of trust sometimes with them too. It's what they can inadvertently get into that they just
safety.
couldn't handle. Yeah. Like, if you think you're being sneaky and you end up getting on TikTok or Instagram or something, and then some pedophile or somebody targets you, like, you're too young necessarily to have the level of discernment I need you to have to be able
But
to
we're part
block
of the
all these
generation where
things.
kids were having full on relationships with other people on, what was that? AOL
Yeah.
Messenger.
Yeah. I never got on that. I wasn't
I
even
didn't
on like
either, but
MySpace.
I have friends who were like, I was talking to who knows who.
Yeah. Yeah. Our parents probably needed to be more vigilant as well, if I'm
But it
honest.
was also a new frontier, to be fair.
True.
Like
Technology
we
was
know
still
so
in its
much more.
infancy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I spy on your kids. Like, I I need to have all your passwords. Like, your passwords shouldn't
Oh,
even be
definitely.
secret.
I agree. I agree. I think that's probably where I'm thinking. I'm like, all of these things are going to be transparent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
yeah.
know how to get into all your devices.
But what's crazy for me is like she was so comfortable.
She was beyond
In
comfortable. Beyond comfortable.
it,
She was sitting there about to have her little drink.
yes.
14. Again,
14.
4.
That's so young. We're not even talking about 16. At least 16, I'm like, I don't know. At least you driving. I don't know. Maybe.
The age of consent in some states is 16. So people do look at 16-year-olds as being more mature. I look at 16-year-olds as being more mature. She may still be
Yeah.
in the 8th grade almost. Like, she just got in high school.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
And why were these dudes at the club so aggressive?
Defending them. And to me, I felt like Jamie took way too long to say she was underage. Cause I'm like, I need my 14-year-old child now.
Before I get like, who do I need to call? Because clearly I'm not making myself clear that she's a child and we need to go. So they didn't listen. Matt and Emily had to pull out their old moves. I was ready for that smackdown because I was like, I don't know what y'all thought this was.
Exactly.
Thank God they have these moves. Because imagine if they were just some regular old parents coming in there and they, for whatever reason, caught this level of aggression and couldn't get their daughter out like they needed to. I'm glad that they fought back. Did Alice have a point though when they get home and she's like, yo, y'all don't trust me? I can't trust y'all. Y'all are always lying to me. It feels like y'all lie about everything. Would you have been distrustful of your parents? Would that have made you more guarded if you feel like you didn't know really who your parents were or what they were up to?
So I do understand it to an extent in the fact of like a relationship is reciprocal, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
want to know my deep dark secrets, I need for you to tell me who was the first boy you kissed. Like I like to know his name. How old were you? How did you feel? Like, and I'll tell you mine. Like, you know what I mean? Holding it in the vault, I'm just like, so you just want all of me and I get nothing. I don't like that personally.
Sharing is caring, as they say, right?
Yeah.
I agree to a certain extent. I wouldn't know what it would be like to have a lot of questions and feel like, you're getting a lot of bogus information. But at the same time, I am not in a generation where we expected our parents to tell us everything. Because my grandparents, especially, it was the stay in a child's place generation.
Of course.
So my
Yes.
parents weren't far off from that generation where,
Yes.
I'm not expecting to know anything beyond what they choose to share
To
with
tell
me.
you, yes, but I don't agree with it.
It's what I'm used to. I didn't live with thinking that there were blatant lies being told to me all the time. I didn't have that reality or that scenario, but I don't know. I still have the mentality sometimes of like, especially when you're of a certain age, I'm not your friend. We don't have to
Yes,
have certain conversations if I don't feel
of
like you need to
course,
know certain information yet. Once you're
of
grown,
course.
our
Yes,
relationship is going to change, is going to be different. But when you're still
agreed.
a child in my home, our relationship is going to be a parent-child relationship. So we're going to act accordingly. I say all the time on this podcast, though, I think I'm a little bit more old school than some people in probably my generation. And I'm
I
not saying
just
I'm going
feel
to be like a
like
tyrant. I would be a
your
tyrant with my
relationship
kids.
with your kids should be a reflection of a healthy relationship that they can have with other people. The whole,
Yeah.
your kids stay in your place, that works to an extent. You know what I mean? Because again, I believe in healthy relationships. And again, the kissing thing is just bare minimum. And that's like graduate level type conversation, not at 14 years old necessarily, but
not at 14 years old.
No.
I don't want to not have a good relationship or be cool with my child. I would not want to not have a good relationship with my child, but at the same time, I do think sometimes children are given too much leeway.
But I think it also starts way younger than what she is. I feel like they missed the boat somewhere because, again, maybe because I'm a Black mother, and I say this sincerely, when we are out, if I call my child's name, I need for you to come immediately. I don't need for you to ask me why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need for you to get, say, oh, I need a few minutes. No, I need for you to come now. And I need for you to trust me when I say that. And I'm about to get real deep. A lot of that is due to this book I've read called The Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. It's just ingrained in our culture because of the horrific nature of the past, frankly. And so this like feeling like you have a choice or feeling like you can go anywhere out of reach. It's like, I need for you to be a lot closer because I need to be able to protect you. And I also need to, we'll get there in a state of an emergency. I need for you to just come. Trust me when I say it's time to go. You know what I mean? Because we all running. Okay.
Yeah. That's the old Negro spiritual. If I run, you run.
Pretty much.
And I've had to put it into practice a couple times in life. So absolutely. Again, I don't have any kids, so I can only speak from what I think I would do. You can speak to what you do in reality. Whatever they're doing in this film, ain't it?
I'm hoping to hold it. I'm hoping to hold on to it, because kids do change and grow. But yeah.
All right. So their old boss, Chuck from the CIA, pops up at their door following that fight because, of course, it made its way to these internets. He's seemingly killed at the front door. I kept thinking, like, why is my dude just standing here in the front door? Like, if he's coming back, they've
wide
been
open
in hiding for years, for 15 years. Why are you just standing at the front door? Like, no big deal. So they have to escape a full shootout and chase all over this key that Emily thought was lost, but apparently Matt had lied about all these years and had taken and stashed at Emily's mother's house in the UK. Emily has an estranged relationship with her mother, so she is not excited about a potential reunion. The guy they took it from wants it back, and according to Chuck, before he got shot, is working with an MI6 agent, Baron, who has had a thing for Emily off of one date they had back in the day. Grab the kids from school. We're headed to the UK. And about these lies and distrusts, they thought their grandma was dead. Emily had told them grandma was dead.
That was rough, though. That's rough.
Yeah, that's a big one. They had asked the kids once they get to the UK, like, yo, stay offline. We know why. The kids don't know why, but stay offline. Was that too much to ask for this generation of children?
No. And again, it's like you kind of have to start them young and maintain it and not drop the ball because they should have been able to comply. But it was so funny because they were like, what are we supposed to do? He was like, you can talk to your sister. You can ask her how she's doing. It's like, what do you mean? They're having a conversation?
The way they were looking at each other like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you neither. They were actually getting on my nerves, though. But again, maybe this goes back. I think it does go back to your point about like trust, because they go inside to eat. They see their parents get into this full brawl outside. And instead of being like, yo, we got to protect mom and dad, they like, should we call the cops? Are we accomplices? Why are y'all assuming that your parents are the bad guys?
That was funny. I was like, I was not ready for that.
Like, where's your instinct to protect? You like, yo, what's happening? Who are y'all for real? This is dangerous. Y'all seem like y'all killed a bunch of people. This is bad. Bad,
You
bad,
should be
bad.
ride or die for your family, though. You
And
should.
these were my thoughts. These were my thoughts. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Okay? These were my thoughts. If I see my mom out in the parking lot battling somebody, I'm not going to think about calling the cops and be like, does she need aid? Does she need my
Yeah, does she need
assistance?
help? And then, like, why didn't she teach me that? Those
Right.
moves. That would be my line of thinking for sure.
Absolutely. So they end up having to break the news to the kids that they're spies, right? We can't keep going on with these shenanigans without some type of explanation. They're asking too many questions. They make it to grandma's house, and it's more like a compound, right? Once they hit that gate, I'm like, oh, you was rich.
Listen, I was like, you got a title or something?
So when the daughter asked that, I was like, yo, this is not about to turn into the Princess Diaries. Amelia Thermopolis
Yeah,
Rinaldi, Princess of Genovia.
exactly.
That's not what this film is. But to your point about the big reveal, I cackled when Glenn Close walked out there.
I
Cackled.
loved it. I loved it so much. And like I low key want to be her when I grow up because she was
The
just such a badass.
haircuts
The ear piercings, like, oh, loved it.
alongside her young boo thing and MI6 trainee, Nigel. Now, Nigel was definitely one of the funniest characters for me in this film.
Yes, he's always a goofball.
When he was talking about, do you want to call me granddad?
Oh my gosh.
And I know you guys will look at me like a father figure.
He could have very well just been the flavor of the month.
My
The
thoughts
way
were exactly like, what is she putting in your head to make you think you're an MI6 trainee? Is this okay?
exactly.
Is she, this feels like she's using you a little bit, Nigel,
A
but
little bit. He came off definitely gullible for sure.
yeah, yeah. But if you like it, I love it. One of the funniest lines in the whole film for me was when Glenn Close said, "You don't drink tea and no gin?" And Emily thinks I'm a bad mother. Ha! We're
Exactly.
gonna fix
Exactly.
that. What? What are you talking about, Grandma? But this would be my type of grandma. I appreciated it.
Yes.
So Glenn Close's character, Jenny, is an MI6 legend, right? Talking about girl boss goals, all this stuff. For this to be the case, I was so disappointed by the pitiful security precautions she had at her house.
Yes.
Where are the bombs?
Yes. Well, I was like, was the assumption that she was like so far in the country that nobody'll, but even then we watched plenty of those type of movies where they had stuff buried underground and they had like,
Exactly.
you
I was
know,
talking through the movie like, goddamn, even Kevin Costner's daddy in The Bodyguard had Foster, you know?
yes.
Like,
Yes.
where are your precautions, Ma? You had some little cameras that they snip real quick. Every other scenario I can think of with this, where it's like, I got to go escape to someone's house who can help protect us and shield us. They have the precautions. They got the bombs underground. They got the means to help you at least make an escape.
Yes.
None of
And
that existed on
honestly,
this compound.
yeah, exactly.
Jenny and Nigel get taken hostage very easily. Turns out Chuck, of all people, is still alive, and he is a POS, piece of shit, coming after that key.
Absolutely.
And it's all about money, but also revenge for him. Because after they disappeared years ago, he got blamed. He got fired from the CIA. He said he lost his pension, his marriage, his dog. So he's a little bit upset. He's a little agitated. He gets the key, takes the kids as insurance. Thankfully, Leo cared about his health and had his little ring that they were able to track because it had a GPS on it.
Again, he was so resourceful. I like it when the kids become resourceful in these type of movies. The son had it in spades. The daughter was just kind of going, being blown by the wind.
I feel like Leo could be in the next iteration of Spy Kids. Where my Spy Kids
Yes,
movies at?
yes, that's what it actually reminded me of for sure. And I'm like, the kids need to step up.
Oh, Leo, and then to have been able to turn towards the camera and show his little ring.
Exactly. See, forethought, foresight.
Chuck is planning to sell the key to the highest bidder. MI6 also joins the party. They've been souping around. Turns out Baron's nose is clean. He didn't have anything to do with these shenanigans. He's actually been tracking the bad guys, trying to, keep everybody in line.
I definitely did not trust him at all.
I feel like it was the choices of definitely keeping us guessing with how they had him looking
he
often.
Was the red hair Aaron.
Yes.
Sure.
It was like he always just looked like he was up to something. But I was glad he was innocent. I was glad.
Me too.
So
because he was a potential ally, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. The reason why Chuck had lied is because he was like, "Oh, I just didn't want y'all going running back to your old people and telling them what was going on." Because again, he's the big bad. So we hit the grand finale. Shenanigans ensue. The key gets stolen by Nigel. Nigel was really clutch, thankfully, with being able to close the bridge or whatever it is they had opened, thinking about potentially trying to flood the city. Chuck had gone off with the kids on a boat, was about to try to, go out in the open water. They get on the boat, rescue, fam is reunited. Yay. Too bad Chuck's body was never recovered.
I thought that was crazy.
Sequel. They're setting it up for a sequel, Delora. Do you want it? Do you care?
I do, slightly. I want to know who Cameron Diaz's father is.
You feel like that's worth a sequel just to know who her daddy is?
Yes, and I've been speculating who it could be potentially.
Do you want to tell us?
Of course. My number one guess is Pierce Brosnan. I would love that very much.
Okay.
But because she was shipped off to America, what if her dad had American, background? And that's where like Harrison Ford would like come into the picture.
Well, he could also be international because her mother was an MI6.
She was.
Cameron Diaz is Latina.
That's true. And I thought about King Triton, Javier. I thought about him, but then I'm like, he's not that much older than her, though.
True.
Antonio Banderas.
But Glenn Close does like him young.
That's true. Wait, I'm now about to look at the age difference. Yeah, he's only like 2 years older than like Cameron Diaz, so that wouldn't have worked. I was trying to think about men who are older than Cameron Diaz. Yeah, he's
movie magic could make it work. They had what's her name playing Whitney Houston's mama on The Preacher's Wife, and she's only like 7 years older than her.
That's true.
So
yeah,
they could make it work. But those are interesting options for sure. I'm sure Harrison Ford would definitely love to do it. But I do hope I think it would be somebody of a high caliber bar. They need to be like playing off of Glenn Close. That'd be
Did we know that he was Irish?
Who, Harrison?
No, Pierce.
No, I don't know anything about that man's background.
He was born in Ireland. I just assumed he was British.
Well, I think he did grow up British, right? Even if he was born in Ireland.
Irish actor. What?
Huh. I don't know. You know what I also enjoyed about this film? The music. The music choices, in my opinion, played a big role. Did you note any that kind of stood out for you during the different scenes?
Absolutely. The club scene. They played Crazy. It was really good. I was like, oh, I haven't heard this song in such a long time. How does it go? Yes, by Doechii. Crazy. Love, love, love that song. Honestly, that was one of my favorite. That's what got me to notice her. One of the first songs that was like, who is this girl? Because I think in that music video, she looks like she's like butt ass naked and everybody else is, and they're just dancing. It's a fire video. I recommend it.
Nice.
She's very artistic in that way.
So, do you feel like this film was worth Cameron coming out of retirement?
No. I don't. Because even her chemistry with Jamie Foxx, I don't think they played well with each other.
It wasn't romantic, right?
It wasn't romantic
At
and it
all.
wasn't funny enough for it to count either. You know what I mean? Like, you're saying you're both sexy spies and you just choose each other, and he's like, I'm gonna drop everything for you, and she's like, I'm gonna save you because you're the father of my child. Like, it just, it didn't even give me the buddy buddy that I was looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
I
no
think
Charlie's Angels.
they tried it, but it just, they didn't click as well as I hoped. Because we know when they do click with their co-stars, it's magic. It's wonderful. We love it, right? Freaking her and Drew Barrymore are still best friends to this day.
Yeah. Like, so I said it's not Charlie's Angels, right? Charlie's Angels was great with the action and the chemistry between our leads, even non-romantical.
But maybe this is a good warm-up, because sometimes what they say, just put it out. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time around. If she's coming out of retirement, this could have been a nice, let me get this check, let me have some fun, let's travel the world, let me go home to my husband and my baby, and maybe I'll do something else after.
Yeah, I mean, she has said candidly that this needed to really be worth her while to spend hours away from her family, because that's her number one priority. So maybe the set was fun. Maybe the experience beyond Jamie's health situation was fun. And if that's the case, great. I hope so. The film itself, we'll see if she chooses to continue down this path. There's like, that was fun, that was cute, got my check, going back home. So we'll see. Any other final thoughts about Back in Action before we head into Hidden Gems?
Again, it's a really good setup in terms of, it was very sleek looking. You could tell budget. That's money and budget. There was money put behind this film. I just feel like, I don't know if it was the acting or the writing. No, it was the writing. The writing could have been funnier. I feel like everything was there and I was ready to be blown away, but it didn't hit. It didn't hit, Ashley.
Maybe they had them play a little too straight too. Like, one of them needed to be a little bit more of the comic relief.
Yes.
Duo. They were both playing a little too straight.
And I think they tried to do that with her, like, oh, I'm the mom and I'm, spying on my child, but no.
All right. My final thought is, I don't need a sequel. I don't. We can let this lie. Fun to guess on who her potential daddy could be, but let's one and done it. All right, Delora, let's move into our hidden gems. What you got for the people this week?
Yes. I just went ahead and finished Simone Biles Rising. So it is a 4-part docuseries. We recapped the first 2 episodes. This was before the 2024 Paris Olympics. And so the 2 episodes that I watched recently and I loved because she's awesome was her journey, getting on the Olympic team and the actual Olympics. And I'm just so proud of her. Like, I never met this woman in my life, but I am just so proud of her, and I appreciate her transparency and everything that she stands for, right? Like, perseverance. They called it, the redemption tour, right? Like, they're redeeming themselves, but such a phenomenal athlete. And it was very inspirational. And it was so funny because, if you listen to our podcast, we were very much talking about the Olympics last year. We were very excited about it. And to relive it through the series, I'm like, why am I anxious? I know what happened. And that's how well the series was done. And fun fact, Jamil Hill is a producer on the docuseries. I was really impressed by that. She's the sports reporter turned, she's producer, she does podcasts, she does all types of things. She's overall, girl boss, and I appreciate that. And unfortunately, she got famous dealing with 45 back in the day, but we support her, and she's done some really awesome things since her ESPN time. What about you, Ashley?
I just want to say real quick, I'm so glad you brought this up, because when I tell you, I remember seeing it say like, oh, new episodes. And I kept saying like, my Netflix is broken because there are no new episodes. It's 4 episodes. I've seen all these 4 episodes. I forgot that we had only watched the first 2. So it was the second 2 that I haven't seen. I literally just like looked at it again. I'm like, wait, what is new? Oh, tripping. So now I'm gonna have to go and watch those. I'm seriously, y'all. I'm thinking like another batch of 4 we're supposed to be dropping. So thank you. All right, my hidden gem, it's not hidden, but I just watched it myself. Subservience on Netflix. I had forgotten all about this movie. I watched Severance, I told y'all. So I had asked one of my friends, I was like, have you seen Severance? And he was like, you talking about that movie on Netflix? I was like, are you thinking of Subservience? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I still got to watch that. That movie was way wilder than I expected. Like Megan Fox, she's a robot, all of that. The one hot dude from the sex series of films. He's hot.
He will forever be associated with that. What, 364? Wasn't that the
something
name
like
of
that? And I remember I started it and I was like, this is porn. Like this is
straight
soft porn right here.
He is very handsome though.
Very handsome. And in this, he's a dad. He has 2 kids. He's married.
The question is, can he actually act, or is he getting these roles because he's handsome?
I thought he did well in this film and in this role. This is the first I've really sat and watched with him in it. I thought he did well. But this movie turned out, if I had seen this before I watched Back in Action, this would have been our recap. It still probably is going to get on the recap list because I think it's worth talking about. It was a wild ride, and I was not expecting it. I've loved many a robot TV show and film. iRobot, Terminator Days, Humans was a great series about robots that aired. I was not expecting this. Let me say that. I thought it was gonna be like sexy, and it was a thriller.
Show?
It was a thriller. It was a thriller.
Okay.
It was a thriller. So I don't want to give away too much, but it was intense and definitely worth the watch if you haven't seen it yet on Netflix. So that is my hidden gem, not so hidden. Subservience. Check it out. That is it. That is all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for sticking with us for another week. Please share this episode with everybody you know. We so appreciate it. We're going to take a little break next week. We'll be back. We have to handle some podcast business. But next time y'all hear from us, it'll be Black History Month.
Yay!
Time to get into some more Black things as a result. Okay? Looking forward to it. So come back to us. Please feel free to catch up on all these episodes that we have in the meantime. We appreciate y'all. We will be back. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.